Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Inside Rebel Football. I'm Stanley Dupuy, and I'm here tonight starting out with head coach Jerry Arledge. And Coach Arledge, let me first say congratulations on the big win Friday night.
Any win is a big win for the Rebels.
Well, it was a hot, humid game down in Lake Charles, and I thought the Rebels took care of business from the beginning of the game. And your thoughts on the road trip down and the ball game?
Well, I think our kids were extremely focused. Uh, we suffered from the hurricane also in the fact that we were only allowed one bus from Mayo,
Wow.
and we put most of the players on that one bus. Normally, we're going to travel with two buses, and a travel team will be made up of usually in the low 60s, 62, 63 players. So we got most of them on one bus, and we were concerned about them being crowded, but they handled it. They handled it well. Uh, we got in the old gym there, and the kids were very quiet, and that's usually an indication that they're pretty focused. And we went out and right off the bat, first play I think was an interception, and almost got it in the end zone. And Chauncey's got to do a better job of scoring.
Well, you know, your
But he
son,
had he had someone there to block, and
that's it.
that could have blocked for him, and did not get the block.
Well, your son, Coach Rob Arledge, told me on the show. I said earlier, I'm sorry, Ken. You got to cut that. But Ken, I'm sorry. This is
That's okay.
this is the intro, and I'm talking about stuff we just
Yeah,
got through
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
All right. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've said if I said that, I'm saying something before the
Yeah,
kids come
before,
on. So
before.
my bad on that. My bad. You can't cut it. We start from where we are. You got to start all over again. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll do
let's
that. Okay.
yeah
And I'm
let's do it.
sorry. You understand what I did? I asked him a question that I already knew the answer
Yeah.
because interviewed the kids, and obviously I don't want to do that before the interview takes place. Okay. All right. We'll start all over. What you get when you get a rookie TV guy in here, Coach.
You're doing great.
We had a good time tonight with those boys. They were good. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Inside Rebel Football. I'm Stanley Dupuy, and I'm here with head coach Jerry Arledge. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win Friday night, first game of the season at Sam Houston. Talk about that win and the trip down to Lake Charles.
Stanley, the one of the big things is always trying to put a schedule together, and we elected as a staff. We felt like early in the season that it would be good for us to make a long road trip, and there are not many people that's available to play. But if you go to their place, it makes a big difference usually. Of course, I love for them to come to Rebel Stadium, but we hooked up the deal with Sam Houston, and they're one of those teams that did not play a down of football all of last season because of the hurricane damage that was caused, and I'm not even sure if any of those if they even went to school, probably virtual, but they didn't play any JV games, no freshman games, or any varsity games, and I just wonder what the Rebels would be like had we not played any games last year. We can tell a big difference in our sophomores who would have been freshmen last year, and a lot of our juniors and sophomores that didn't get a chance to play JV ball last year. There's a big difference in them.
Well, Coach, it's just I like the way you took care of business. Like you said, you had a road trip down there, and I thought the guys did came out and they were focused and ready to play.
Very much so, very much so. And Coach Davis, the head coach, said he had a good group of seniors, and I assumed that it would be a more competitive game, and I'm sure he did too, and I'm sure his players did also. But we had those opportunities or breaks early in the game with 2 interceptions. One of them returned for a score, the tag banked one, and then Chauncey Lee got inside the 5, I think, with his. And then that happened so quick, and then there's 14 points on the board, and I'm not sure that the other team, that the Broncos didn't realize, hey, we're in for a whipping.
Well, and then not too long after that, we get a safety. I think the next score was a safety. So,
yep.
The defense contributed right off the bat to 2 picks, and one was a pick 6, and then we had a safety in the end zone. And before you had a chance to get a Coke and a popcorn and sit down, we were up 16-0.
That's right.
And still early in the first quarter. We were on the radio. I was on the sidelines, looked at the radio broadcast at team, and I was talking to Rick and Jordan. I said, guys, we didn't even get to the water break yet, and we're up 16-0.
Well, before the half is over, we're already putting in backup players, JV type players, and I don't think our starters played any the second half. And that's a great opportunity for our younger guys that are backups. It gets them a lot of first-time game experience.
Especially when we didn't have much of a JV schedule last year. A lot of
That's
those
right.
kids that were sophomores didn't get a chance to play very much.
They did not play. We did not play a single JV game last year.
Wow.
And I think there were maybe 1 or 2 freshman games is all that we played last year. And then you think about there's Sam Houston that played not any of the freshman JV or varsity games.
Well, and of course your heart goes out to programs in South
Yes,
Louisiana that has
certainly.
that hurricane, and it just in fact their quarterback was at West Monroe for a period of time, short period of time.
Yes, he was, and unfortunate enough to get caught in a situation in a classroom twice, and he ended up getting quarantined.
Wow.
28 days, and at that point in time, he said, "I'm going back home. I can, so I can help Dad."
Well, you can't do much better than win, but when you shut somebody out, Coach, you, a longtime defensive coordinator, have to be pleased with the defensive effort and also the offensive effort that you had Friday night.
Well, I think a lot of questions some of the questions were answered, and I really believe this, that our kids were prepared. They were focused, and they played hard. You do those 3 things, and you're going to usually come out on the top end.
The only thing you have to go back and look at stats, and I know you're not a big stat guy, but I looked at
one stat's important.
the scoreboard, the scoreboard stat. Well, I looked at the stats today, and I was thinking, this was almost close to a perfect game for us, except for 3 things. We fumbled the ball 3 times on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, we played probably 3 different, maybe 4 different tailbacks, and 3 quarterbacks. And so they all got the hands on the ball, and when you playing with different combinations, it makes a big difference.
Well, you got to be pleased with I think you played everybody that dressed out, Coach. And
I think so.
And anytime you can do that as a head coach, it's always good to get everybody that's worked hard in practice. It's not a number 1, and some that are not even number 2s. It may be some of the 2.5 or 3s, as y'all call them, give them an opportunity to play.
As you know this as well as I, that there's some kids that are known as gamers. I mean, they're not gonna give you everything they got in practice, but when the lights come on and they get on that field, they become different players, much improved players, and that's what you hope that a lot of them will find out. Can you flip that switch on? Can you turn that tempo up? And it's always good to find out.
Well, Coach, we're going to visit with the offensive side of the football coming up. I know Coach Brian Crislip's here, and he's got a couple of players, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this timeout.